It's nothing but rot. All of it. So you stuck around, did you? Even until now. I knew you would, somewhere. In this rotten thing I call a heart. But why? What did you see in me all this time? When everything fell apart, you were still there. And even now, I can't dare to call this closure. That's just words for people who can't be done with something. If you think I'm that weak now, you'd probably be right. Look, I'm not gonna pretend to have the answers you're looking for. If anything, I'm at a loss of my own. Answers are as hard to find as those damn needles in the haystack that everyone's always talking about. Like a pipe dream, so far away. It's so close you can taste it. That's what it felt like. I was right there, at the apex of everything, losing it all and gaining it all. But did I really lose? Did I? To be honest, I almost can't tell. How stupid. That after everything, after all that toiling, all that belief in me, and all that happened was we were labeled a bunch of lunatics, and at the end of the day, there was only dust. Mountains upon mountains of dust. Don't look that way. Play your tune. It's not quite a game over just yet. There's still something. Maybe an epilogue in the story that we haven't figured out yet. You look so sad. Why is that? I'm not fading away. I'm just a little tired for once. I say for once, but it's more like a reoccurring thing lately. To think my old man would do what he did. To think everything I worked towards would almost be swept under the rug, like it never existed to begin with. I don't like this at all. How the story supposedly ends. I don't like it, I don't accept it, I don't want it. If I was just going to lose in the end, then why should I accept that? No. There's still a way to change this. Maybe I didn't need to take a bite out of the world, but eat the whole damn thing. Don't look at me like that. You always did believe in me. Even when I stopped believing in myself, there was a time when my ears were ringing and I couldn't hear anything through the tinnitus. It was just a giant blink from an explosion of feelings that weren't even mine. It was like a poem about you, but which you have no ability to say or change anything. Like a violent ignition, igniting you against your will. That's what it felt like, trapped within my own delusion of grandeur. But But I didn't let it end there. Thanks to one thing you said to me. It was back then, when I barely knew you, that you said, even with my deranged side, you saw me as someone worth something, that you respected, that you loved me. They all felt like daggers then. You know why? It wasn't even your fault. They felt like daggers because I pushed those feelings so far away from myself that I never looked back. I never dared to. Because the moment I start looking back is when the regret sets in. When I realize my life was like a line of dominoes. Fucking dominoes. I was set up, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And you know what I had to show for it? I had nothing. And I had to face that down, which almost killed me more than I killed the ones who I was supposed to protect. And then all I could do was laugh and cry. But the tears never came. The tears, they were too itchy. It never really felt right. Like it was for someone else. The me that died was no longer the me that was in this body. I used that excuse 1,000,000 times to try and run away. To get away from who I hated being. And I did. I hated being what I thought I had to be. And yet I pushed it away. The numbness was a comfort until you came. You're the first time I felt something in a long time, and I was afraid. I was angry. I almost killed you several times. It was a terrible mistake. Letting you so close yet. Something wouldn't let me give up on that sliver of hope that even I deserve something. Some form of redemption or happiness. I wasn't actually chasing those. I thought, why not watch it all burn? Watch everything fall to pieces. And then, once there's nothing left, there's no reason to feel anything. The nihility take me at that point. But you and the other LOV members back then, you wouldn't let me go completely unfeeling. You cared about me, and I hated it. I hated you. But not because I wanted to, but because I thought the moment I let go of my hate, the moment it's not the single solitary focus, is the moment I break. I don't just bend, honey. Not these hands. I never knew until it was too late. The orchestrated plan that I was just a pawn for. And all that time, I had my doubts. But something worse than losing was the thought of losing you. Losing them. In the end, I did care. I couldn't help it. As heartless as I tried to be, it would just blow up in my face every time. And when I was lying there, so close to my last, I just kept thinking, what happens now? What about them? What about you? Such pointless things to be thinking about in what you think are your last moments. Laying there in the rubble, looking up. It wasn't that bastard Deku who I saw. It was you. I saw you. And I saw them. My friends. It hurts just to say the word. Why now? Why now of all times? What the tears hit me when I feel nothing but resentment towards not any of you. Definitely not you, player 2. I just wish I had noticed sooner that I was running away. I thought it was all about chasing this euphoric society after the rubble was settled, uprooting the corrupt heroes, and I still think, to a certain extent, we weren't wrong. We just ran away from a society that never tried to understand us. We were as much victims as the people we victimized. I really messed up. As much as I hate people who lofty and unattainable goals that they laud over their head. Those heroes they put on a pedestal weren't there when it counted. And I know I'm blaming them unfairly, just like I blamed everything on myself. It's why, no matter what happens to me, I want you to be safe and free to run away from the world that won't accept you, to save those who nobody deems worthy of it. Is that not real heroism? Is villainy not just the same thing? I know I'm not in the best shape right now, but I love you, and I don't say those words often because I'm afraid of them. I know you love me too, and I know that all of the people who stood around me believed in me to the bitter, nasty little end that happened. We lost, we did. But it's not on you. I over-relied on that nasty old man. And I trusted him on some level. I thought he was the only one who would understand how I felt. It's fine. I guess we all just make those mistakes sometimes. The ones that you see as unforgivable. The ones that you can't just take back. I can't take back a lot of things that I've done or that I failed to do. I broke my promise to you, and I hate that. Do you Do you think it'd be better if we... Idiot. That doesn't even answer the question. It just makes it more convoluted. I can't tell if I'm laughing or crying at this point. And I can't even open my eyes when it comes down to it. It'll take me at least 5 more minutes to get back up to snuff, is what I would normally say. See, it's not over yet, even if it seems like it is. It's not like I'm going to give up because of this. If I did that, I'd be no better than him. He lost to me, fair and square, even if I lost to someone else. So I can't let it end by anyone else's means but mine. This only ends when I say it does. Why not, player 2? I've been selfishly choosing how the game is played since you met me. Why would it change now? It's the game that never, ever made any sense. No. I feel the same way. And even if I fear it, what you've always offered to me was a place where I belonged. It's exactly what I wanted to offer to them. Those that nobody saw any light in. Maybe I embraced the darkness too much, but there was light in them. They weren't bad people, and they still aren't. Just like you aren't, player 2. Even if I might be. Don't try and defend me now. I'm having a cool moment, aren't I? You can't shut me down just yet. Don't be stupid. All of this is because of my mistake. And I'm sorry, but I won't apologize for everything. 'Cause if I did, I'd be a liar and a cheat and the worst kind of man around. And I don't want to be anything like my old man was. If nothing else, I'll prove that I'm not. By one thing that I can't take back. One thing that matters more to me than all the victories or success any of this could have had. That's that I never make the same mistake that lets you down again. And that I never worry you as much as I did after the dust settled. I know you couldn't get involved. It was too dangerous, and I told you that. I told you not to get involved, but then you did. And it didn't even surprise me a little bit. How could it? I mean, it's such a you thing to do. You always were meddling, always worried about me. When even I just didn't care, or I convinced myself not to. And look at you right now, comforting a loser like me. How could you? How dare you? Don't you know you're supposed to use this time to plot the downfall of my enemies or something? Not comfort me. I can't help it. After that, after all that resentment, all that hatred, to have a moment like this feels illegal. Feels so mismatched to who I am, who I've been for most of my life. And yet, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I can't. If I did that, I'd be even less myself than I am right now. You really have to pick your fights better. Because you always pick the losing ones. And then guess what happens? You don't even have to guess. It ends just like this. You know, you were this close to ending up a hero if you didn't know me. And I wonder if you'd been happier going to their side. It's not too late. They don't know you that well, and you could run away. Player 2. You know, they're gonna be here soon. What are you even thinking? You'll never make it out without help. And it'll take me too long to recover at this point. You have to leave. Leave me. Come on. Player 2. We had a good run, but it's game over. Once they catch me, I'll never be allowed to see the daylight again. Sure. You can think about rescuing me and breaking me out someday, but don't go in with me. Don't you dare. Don't share that fate with me. Player 2, it's too cruel for you. It's not a place someone with as soft of a heart as you belongs in the first place. And besides, the winners write history. So no matter what you've done or haven't done, does it actually matter? If we're the losers, and you don't have to be, why stick with me even now? Why pick me up and continue walking? Can't you see? It'll never work out. You're so stubborn. You remind me of myself. And even then, you might have me beat. And then, you have the nerve to tell me how much you love me when you know this love is just gonna end in tragedy. You're so stubborn, wanting a happy ending like the storybooks you like so much. How do you still have that look, that determination? You're outmatched and outgunned. You can't take on the world. Aren't I proof of that? Give it up, player 2. Just put me down. Those wobbly legs won't take you far enough, will they? No offense, but you're not doing the best yourself. And just what part of that? What part of what I'm saying is unacceptable? I'm trying here to do what you've done for me the whole time since I've known you, since I've fallen in love with you. I'm trying to save you. Not in the way I ever wished it would end up. But I can't let them get you two. Just put me down already. That stubbornness, you'll regret it someday. I did. I wish I could go back. That I could prepare for all of this. That I could win. So that there's a place that me and you can go to. A place that isn't some stupid jail cell. Or some stupid pearly gates. I hate both options. And if you believe in the other place, so what? I don't want any of it. I want to live long time with you. And I've waged a war in my heart and soul that never let me go down one path or the other, because it always ended up back here. This impasse. You won't let me go, and I can't let you go either. And then we just end up grabbing, holding on tight, clutching like animals, desperate to survive a storm. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Why do you love me so much? And why can't I stop loving you so much? I'm at a loss with how stupid this all is. Not because I don't feel the feelings that I know you do too. Because you're still risking everything for me. After I'm the loser. Don't you get it? What game over screams are supposed to be is a sign to give up. You're just diving right into the programming and saying fuck the whole thing. I did fall in love with that side to you, player 2. But even now, what do you think's gonna happen? Do you really think that there's hope even now? Surrounded? Exhausted? No more allies to count because they're all caught, or worse. What do we do then? Rescue them. You're sounding like a stupid hero. And I hate to say it, but I don't hate it. I don't. I can't. I want to believe in those words, I do. But I also don't want you to suffer anymore because of me. Just put me down and I'll hold them off while you escape. Of course, you wouldn't accept that. Fine. You stubborn player 2. If we're staring down the game over screen, then we might as well do it with pride and do it to the last until someone forces our bloody beaten fingers to press that game over button. Until we press on that the end, I won't accept it. And even then I won't. If what you want is a fight, I'll show you the greatest fight you never knew existed. I'll show you that the man you fell in love with isn't just a bundle of hatred and insolence and stupidity, but a man that's worthy of being your player one. That is not going to give up until everything crumbles to dust. To my last breath, I'll be with you. I'll be with you.
Both of you, get in quickly.
What? Girl, Kiri? Impossible. That's... How did you... No, now's not the time. Go. How? What? Why is everyone fine? This is some kind of fever dream or something, right? There's no way. Did I die or something? That's almost more believable. I somehow convinced myself I would never see you all again. Wow. Before the paranormal liberation front end, all of the mess got so complicated. There was all of you. My friends. And you, player two. Did you know about any of this? If I'm dreaming, I don't want to wake up. Because damn reality sure is a nightmare. Player 2, is it really going to be okay now? Will I even be able to stay myself? I sure hope so. But didn't I turn into ashes? Wasn't I the one who was dusted? How am I even in one piece? My head's all jumbled. But somehow I can't care about that. I'm breathing, I think. I'm alive and I'm not possessed by that old man. I don't care if it makes me religious now to believe in miracles, but fuck it. Call me the Pope at this point, 'cause I want to believe in all this. I don't know what happened, but I know I want to live a life better than that first try, that failure of a life that I lived being his pawn. It was a nightmare losing all of you. Player 2, even if you followed me to the end, I don't want to make the same mistake twice. I want a better life. Something that isn't just dusting everything, destroying it, but living for more than just making the world repent. I'm not choosing some stupid forgiveness, but instead, I see what matters to me now. Most of all, I was a fool But I'm not any longer player 2. I've never seen a future as bleak or as dim as the one I lived through. I'll stop this before it ever began. The League of Villains will return. But I think I'd like to avoid the mess of involving anything else. I'm sick of it. Tired of endlessly fighting for a revenge that shouldn't even be my own. This time, the only one that dies is the one who started it all. Keeping them in check, the heroes, is all fine and good. But I could care less so long as we have this stupid little hideout and this stupid little group. That's what matters to me. Player 2. This is my family. All of them. And you. I don't even know what to call you. Because at this point, you've been so much to me that I can't call you anything else. You're just too much, player 2. Want to start a new game with me? I thought you might be interested. It's always something with you. Always kissing me like you truly mean it. And never stopping. That endless love that you have. You're never suited to this life or this side of the coin. And yet here we are. You and I. After everything, I only love you more. And this time, instead of being an idiot about it, running from love, I won't run from you, player 2. I can't. My chasing destruction already killed me off. At least a part of myself. Sure, I could never forgive myself for the mistakes. But at some point, we all have to look into the mirror and say, blame is only half of it, isn't it? Blame is that endless cycle that never ends. But here I am, attempting the impossible to end it. I love you. And that word, which struck fear into my heart, now feels bittersweet. You just don't get it, do you? Can't you see beyond any of that? The lives I've taken won't come back. And yet, here I am, cherishing life of people that I give a shit about. I'm just a mess, aren't I? A mess. A mess that's all yours. Unapologetically. And I can't even help it. I guess my priorities changed when everything almost ended. I saw that written in the stars, stupid shit you see in movies all the time. I understand now that even if I get my way, if I lose everyone around me, I'd be miserable, more miserable than I've been. Blaming myself, hating my old man. All of it. I don't want to anymore. I'm giving that part of me, and I'm burning it away. Dusting it. And the only part that's left is the me that gives a shit about those who no one else does. This group of outcasts was always where it should have been. It doesn't matter what we do or how we're doing it. It just matters that we survive.